Yeah, definitely. Definitely a step backwards. I think we saw in this Test match England flexing their muscles and us not being able to respond, and it's obviously incredibly disappointing. But if you look back on the last 5 Test matches, we've played some good cricket. We have taken some strides forward, but it's fair to say this one was a step back. Yeah.
Was it just a case of being mentally worn down, basically?
Yeah, I guess it's hard to put your finger on right at this point in time, but I'd say there was an element of that, yeah, that England obviously grew in confidence as well after that last innings at Lords, and we probably, I guess we started to doubt ourselves a touch as well as a batting group, and as we saw once that creeps in, it's hard to be able to stop.
Were you a bit concerned about the conditions in which you had to play just in the final session today? Because it seemed it was drizzling when we came back out.
Yeah, I guess the conditions were a touch greasy, but England had to bowl on it, so that wasn't so much of our problem. But yeah, I guess when you're trying to hang on for a test match draw, and the rain's sort of circling, you're kind of hoping that it keeps falling. So I guess that was I guess what we were hoping was going to happen in that last bit there, but it certainly wasn't the case.
Brendon, is there anything you could put your finger on in terms of change at this stage, or would you like to see the status quo continue?
Yeah, it's early days, but I think probably status quo to continue. I think the guys have performed well in patches throughout the summer, and we've performed poorly in patches as well. But I think if you fast forward 18 months for this team, we've got the makings of a very good cricket team, and I guess you can read into that however which way you want. But I'm a big fan of protecting the people who have performed for a period of time, and I think that's what we've seen from this group of players, and I think we've got the right mix and the right balance within our group. We just need to keep improving as a team and smooth out some of our rough edges.
Disappointing that you have to wait now to play Bangladesh for October or whatever in the West Indies and India. It's quite a gap up to build up for it.
Yeah, it is a big gap for the Test match side, and I guess we'd love to play more Test cricket. As I've said previously, we've got to earn the right to do so. But yeah, it is a touch frustrating that we're not going to get another opportunity to don the whites for. At the same time, it gives guys an opportunity to be able to go back and reflect on their Test games and see where we need to get better as a group and where we need to get better as individuals as well. Make sure that next year, not next year, but next season, once we come back as a Test group, that we're a more polished product than what we've shown in this Test match, especially.
Brendon, do you think the Sunday at Lords sort of changed everything, changed the balance between the sides? Because New Zealand have played some fine cricket in the 3 matches there, and in that match until then.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I think right up until that point, our self-belief was very high, and that, I guess, ripped our hearts out a little bit, and got us probably just started to get some self-doubt created amongst us as well, which is a horrible thing in this game, and I think that's what unfolded in this test was, whilst we still had periods where we were able to dominate, they didn't last long enough, and the periods of England dominating seemed to last for a lot longer. So I think it's a fair assessment that the last innings at Lords changed things. Yeah.
And do you think it will? I know you've got a lot of new personnel coming in for the one-day stuff. Do you think that will change the balance there as well, or not? Or do you think you'll be okay?
I think it will. Yeah, I think we've got 8 new guys coming back into the fold for the one-day game, the one-day series, and obviously the Champions Trophy as well. And they're quite experienced as well, some of those guys too. So I think that's one thing we have been able to do quite well in recent times as well, is move between the forms of the game, and I guess refocus ourselves too. And that's what this is going to require, albeit in a very short turnaround.
Brendon, just looking at this morning, you guys caught on the hop a little bit with the weather and stuff?
No, we weren't caught on the hop. No, I think it was one of those things that you always know is just around the corner, that the umpires are going to knock on your door and say that's half an hour or 45 minutes away from a start. So the guys prepared mentally for that to happen, and it's just what unfolded.
I mean, you guys didn't have any nets out there or anything. It seemed like, it sort of, it just looked like it might have been like that.
No, we're fine. Everyone's different, but I guess a net before the game doesn't necessarily guarantee runs either.
Do you feel there was a bit of pressure put on the ground staff and the umpires to get play started as soon as possible?
I don't know. What do you think? I didn't. I wasn't here when that was going on, so I'll sit on the fence on that one day.
We saw Andy Power talking quite strongly to the ground, and then obviously your coach came out and was probably saying the opposite. I guess was it? I mean, there was both the coaches seemed quite animated this morning.
I guess it's pretty obvious that England were a lot more enthusiastic to be able to get out there and push for a test win than what we were, and I think that's probably fair. It's a fair assessment as well, and I'm sure if England were in the same position we were in, they would think the same. And I know that if we were in their position, I would certainly be looking to get out there as quick as possible. So it's one of those things, and umpires deem the ground fit and ready to play. So just game on from there.
Brendon, how do you feel in hindsight that you sort of to keep working, given the struggles that you had on day one?
Yeah. Look, I've said all the way through my career I never have any regrets about any of the decisions I make, and that's this is one of them. Obviously I wasn't as fluent as what I would like to have been, or what I may have been when I was 21, 22, but I guess that was just what was required in this test match, and whilst it didn't work out and I wasn't able to contribute with the bat as well as what I would like, it was a decision that we made, and I'll stand by it for now.
But as it stands, you were going to keep working, last week?
It was up for discussion. We needed to sit down and I guess nut it out. We considered both things, both options of Luke and myself keeping, and he's going to play as an opening batter, definitely. So I guess it was a matter of, once it got face-to-face, Luke and myself, to be able to sit down and work out what was more comfortable for both of us and what was the best thing for the team. So we'll have that conversation tomorrow when we arrive in London.
You mentioned the doubts in the batting. Are you sort of confident that they can be eradicated in the one-day series for the guys who play in that?
Yeah, I am, because change of game, and obviously the demands on a batting unit are a lot different in limited overs cricket too. So I think we're a confident one-day unit as well at the moment, and we haven't. Whilst we haven't played together for a little while, the guys are pretty certain about what their roles are, not what their roles are, but what their best games are in one-day cricket, and so I'm pretty confident that the guys all of us will be fine come one-day time.
Yeah, and the extra sort of freedom in that game a couple of guys could get a quick 30 and then get back into form that way.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's out of form. I think sometimes you don't get runs. It doesn't necessarily mean you're out of form. You're just out of runs, and I think the more you bat, or the longer you bat, the more runs you're able to obviously score. But I think if you look around the change room, everyone's sort of hitting the ball quite nicely and obviously training well, and we're just not able to transfer that into run production, which is obviously disappointing. But one-day game, the demands on you as well, and the circumstances are constantly changing. So sometimes it's quite nice. You remove yourself from, I guess, your own mindset out in the middle, and you just play to what's required in that game. So I think one-day game will be fine with bat in hand. No, he's not looking great. He's got a scan tomorrow, is it, Joe? He's got an MRI tomorrow down in London, so we'll know a bit more then. But it's obviously it's a big blow for him. He's still not moving that freely, and it's disappointing because it's been a revelation for us this season. And when we do play England with Alistair at the top, without Trent, it's going to be a little bit harder to obviously dismiss him.
Would you like to see the team, or how would you like to see the team approach spin between now and future team matches, but also the Champions Trophy? Anything you'd like to see change?
I think it's important to separate the games. I think with the short version game, we're pretty positive against spin. I think that with the change of rules as well, there's certainly more hitting areas for you to be able to obviously put spinners under pressure. So I'm confident that that'll be fine. Our next test assignment is obviously in the subcontinent, and that's going to bring some different challenges as well, and that's something that we're going to have to work out our own methods, because I don't think you can have a blanket rule with batting, but guys, clearly all of us need to get better at playing spin, and granted Graham's an excellent spin bowler, we've still got to find, I guess, ways to be able to overcome bowlers like that, because there's plenty of them around the world as well, and to be able to make sure that we can still get runs.